Today we're in front of Lakeside High School with Officer Anthony Schaber, who is the school resource officer for Lakeside. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
We're so glad to have you here on this beautiful day, and we're continuing our series of spotlighting the school resource officers and the work that they do in the schools here in Hot Springs. So we'd like to start off with the fact that your job has a couple of unique aspects to it. Can we talk about the coverage that you offer to the Lakeside School District?
Oh yes, I am the school resource officer for the entire district. So I cover pre-K all the way through 12th grade. And the campus here encompasses probably about a dozen buildings overall.
So that's a lot of coverage.
It is a lot of coverage. We have about 3,500 kids here.
In addition to all of the different buildings here within the district, you also have something unique before school even starts to your job as a school resource officer.
Yes, for all the school resource officers in the city of Hot Springs, I do more traffic control duties, traffic direction duties than any other officer here. I have 45 minutes in the morning and then again 30 minutes in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. So is that sometimes a little hairy depending on the level of traffic out there?
It is very hairy. We have, I estimate, about 2,000 to 3,000 cars in a 45-minute period in the morning. So it's every day I'm worried about I'm going to get hit by a car.
Well, fortunately, most people are respectful and watch that yellow line that you tow every single day, directing traffic every which way. But that's definitely a fine line.
Oh, it is. And you know, us being humans, we do get distracted sometimes, either by natural phenomenon, just daydreaming, or, you know, cell phone use is a big thing on campus. You know, that is against the law, but we still have some parents that still use their cell phones while they're driving through campus.
Mm-hmm. And how about all the school buses that travel through the area as the parents are dropping off as well? Is that an issue?
Generally, the school buses, they're here before parents get here. School buses start dropping off at 7:15. But they do need to be aware of the school buses that travel in and around the campus throughout the day. If they come up here during the middle of the day, they do travel throughout the campus during the day. And
as you say, the cell phone safety throughout the campus is something that you're always having to emphasize.
Always got to be, yes ma'am. I mean, even for staff members, state law says that you're not allowed to use your cell phone while you're on school campus.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Now, the school resource officer, as we've talked about before, wears many hats and performs different roles. So what roles do you play here at Lakeside?
Well, the obvious one is I do play a law enforcement role here for very rare circumstances. I play teacher sometimes. I play counselor, advisor, friend, all those roles, and they can, you know, all be separated or even almost rolled into one.
Mm-hmm. You were interacting, as we saw, in the high school office with some of the administrators as well as the principal at the primary school. So is part of your day spent in the office there with administration?
I do. I try to spend as much time in the offices around campus as I can and help out where I can. I answer the phone sometimes, I do the mail sometimes. Just try to help out whenever I see a need.
Now, there was something unusual going on in the high school office today that you don't normally see.
Oh yes, and we have, you know, things that happen all the time, but us being humans, you know, we do have birthdays, so we had one of the administrators had a birthday today, so his office was all decorated today.
Very good. So, and sometimes you're going over school schedules and after-school activities as well with the administration,
yes.
So you know what's coming up?
Mm-hmm, I do. We have a lot of after-school activities, and we schedule those with the administrators because they also have duty in the afternoons.
Now, is that part of your job, all the after-school things that we often see your face?
Well, the school district likes to have police officers there, so part of my job is scheduling those officers, and I take a personal responsibility to try to be at all those activities just because I know the people here on campus better than somebody who's coming from outside. So that's just a personal responsibility I take for myself.
Well, there are a lot of kids that enjoy coming up to you during the games and visiting with you.
They do, and I enjoy that.
Activities. Mm-hmm. We also wanted to ask you about the challenges of the job. What would you consider the most challenging aspect of your job here?
What I consider the most challenging is trying to reach that young person who is going through a tough spot in their life, and they're just trying to find a way to get through it and reach out to somebody. And it's just reaching that person and letting them know that I'm here to help them and that I'm not an enemy, and I can help them through whatever issues they're going through.
And you're able to do that during the school day?
Yes, ma'am. I'll either interact with them in the hallway and have a conversation with them, or some classes I can actually get them out and call them in the office and talk to them in the office.
What is the most rewarding aspect of your job?
Most rewarding part for me is actually seeing when I do get through to that child and they realize that I'm not an enemy and I can help them, and we end up being friends rather than adult and child, or even law enforcement officer and citizen.
And that is something that happens regularly around here?
Not as often as I would like it to, but it does happen fairly regularly.
It
yes.
takes time, I'm sure.
It takes time to build that relationship, yes, ma'am. And that's why we are in the schools, to build those relationships.
But you're starting off at the primary level, so those kids are coming right up to you.
Yes,
and
yes.
hugging your leg and talking with you.
And hopefully they will remember that when they get up to the middle school and to the high school, that they can still do that.
Right.
Yes.
But it's fun to see them with you, especially at that age where, they know that you're there for them.
Yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to add about your job here?
I really enjoy my job here at Lakeside. It's probably one of the best positions I've had in my law enforcement career.
That is quite a statement. It certainly seems like there's a lot of variety here.
There is. There is.
Well, we thank you for all the work that you do here at Lakeside, as well as all of the school resource officers across the school districts here in Hot Springs. And we thank you for your time today.
Thank you for having me.
Next week, we'll bring you more city news.